Hey guys, this is Camfrey15. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and I am back with some more not back. I'm here with some WandaVision. Talking the season finale and talking about the entire season as a whole, or the series as a whole. Don't know if we're gonna get a season two. I don't think we would, because what's the point? But WandaVision, man, what a very interesting show. Was supposed to be one of the last shows of the year, but because of obviously the virus and stuff like that, it got moved up. And we're getting this. We actually got it before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was actually supposed to come out before this, but they made WandaVision come out, and man, what a fun ride. I enjoyed the mystery. I enjoyed this show from start to beginning, which I just want to mention. For the people that were hating on this show in the first two episodes, listen, I'm not calling them freaking fans of this show. You can be fans of the MCU, but if you were one of the people who say, episodes 1 and 2 weren't my cup of tea. You can't say now, you can't go through all the WandaVision stuff and say now this is great. They're probably also the same people that said episode 9, the series finale or the season finale was underwhelming too, because they didn't get their little teases that they wanted to see. But I don't care. I remember the first 2 weeks of the show coming out, everybody was ripping it apart, saying, well, not everybody, but some people were ripping it apart, saying, guess what? This doesn't look good. See, this is why I knew freaking MCU after Endgame would be crap. Really. But the entire series as a whole was great. That middle part of WandaVision was like some of the best stuff ever. So to the people who said the first 2 episodes off, they're not fans of this show, and they can F off. If you want to leave a dislike and saying I'm being a hater to you guys, too bad. Too bad. Y'all are the same people that were ripping episodes 1 and 2, thinking like it was one of the worst things created, because guess what? You can't handle build-up episodes. Episodes 1 and 2 were episodes to build up the story, build upon, or build up, or make you guess to what to expect. If you weren't feeling it, fine. You're not a fan of WandaVision. I better not be hearing those people who are ripping it, praising it. Because no. You were hating the first 2 episodes. You said, see, this is going to be crap. No. Keep that same energy. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at there. I remember that. I keep the receipts. Anyways, this show was really freaking good from start to end. And again, Marvel does it yet again. It's too bad that the other superhero company can't seem to get their shit right. They need to freaking get a freaking different version of Justice League just to try to freaking be relevant. Otherwise, if we're being honest, they're not looking so good. I liked Wonder Woman 2, but not a lot of people liked Wonder Woman 2. So I don't know what they're going to go on with DC again. I'm not going to make this a DC versus Marvel thing, but I'm just going to say this. I'll be watching the Justice League movie. I don't see what's so different about it. It looks the exact same movie with just some extra features in it. But okay. Anyways, WandaVision, it was good from beginning to end. I very much enjoyed this. The whole mystery aspect of who's causing the hacks. We later find out that is Wanda. Again, spoilers for people who, I guess, are checking out this video and haven't seen WandaVision. But again, you should have seen WandaVision alongside of me. Funny enough, I was going to do weekly reviews, but then I kind of got cold feet and didn't do it. So I'm just doing a whole series thing. But the whole mystery aspect, finding out who was causing all this, why was Wanda doing what she's doing? Is this the real Vision? And stuff like that. And, each episode got so much more better. And then, when you get the revelations that, oh, no, Wanda created the Hex all on her own because of the pain she's been through. The Agatha reveal, which was crazy enough as is. It was insane. Like, this show was freaking good. And it's like, when you think you would have something, like when you think you would expect something to happen because of speculation and theories, it didn't happen. everybody who thought Nightmare or Mephisto were gonna be the big bad of this series or the big bad of this show were completely wrong because they made no appearances. There was only like one cameo Easter egg referring to Nightmare, and I think a few Easter eggs referring to Mephisto, I guess you can call him. But they weren't like a part of the show. You know, the whole Reed Richards thing, which I was never a fan of, that Reed Richards would just magically show up out of nowhere. I never believed that Reed Richards would be in this show because it would be like, why would Reed Richards be in this show as the contact Monica Rambeau's going to be talking about? Really? Okay, that's funny. He never makes no appearance. Doctor Strange, which even I speculated, so many people speculated, we thought we would get Doctor Strange in a post-credit scene in the show, and we didn't even get him, which is mind-blowing and shocking. I'm like, Jesus, they didn't even give us Doctor Strange. But then again, we are going to see Doctor Strange in Spider-Man No Way Home, so I guess there was no reason to put him in the post-credit scene for now, for WandaVision. But they literally subvert our expectations. I thought this show, again, was great from start to end. The whole aspect of this mystery and why she's doing it was really freaking good. You know, now let's get into the season finale, the series finale. Now, obviously, if you watch the entire series, you know, you got all from, especially the last week of episode 8, the whole backstory to Wanda, how she became the person she is and stuff like that, and the whole Agatha Harkness reveal. You know, we see them dish out. You know, they have a fight in this episode. And I thought the fight was actually pretty good, especially the end fight, especially the ending to their fight, which the visuals look great. We had the White Vision versus Vision fight. That was crazy because when White Vision just showed up and he put his hands on Wanda, and I was like, is he gonna like I don't know, like actually like remember some sort of thing? But then he starts crushing her face, and I'm like, oh no, he's just pure on robot and stuff like that. You know, and then that fight was really good, which my God, White Vision, honestly, White Vision, the way he looks is clean. He looks clean as shit, man. White Vision looks good. Now, that whole thing is him and White Vision and Vision have a talk, and essentially it gets to the point where, you know, Vision kind of uploads, I guess, memories of, you know, himself into the White Vision to make it remember, and then White Vision just flies off. Now, we don't know. There was no post-credit scene showing where White Vision is at. We don't know where White Vision's at. So for the future of the MCU storyline, we got a Vision out there, the Vision out on the loose, White Vision on the loose. Who knows what he's doing? We don't know if he's got the memories and he can become the original Vision again, just with no Mind Stone, but he's just out there. I don't know where they're going to bring him back into the storyline. They could bring him back in Doctor Strange 2, I'm guessing, because Wanda's going to be in there. Or they can, you know, bring him somewhere. We'll get a post-credit scene somewhere. I feel like we could get a post-credit scene in Doctor Strange 2 regarding White Vision. That are, you know, maybe the next Avengers movie or something like that. Whenever that happens, we'll see White Vision again. I don't know. So for them, that's an open storyline. And another thing I want to mention in episode 9 is, listen, I feel like some people, especially after watching episode 9 with the reveals we got here, some people are going to might be disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. Some people will. Again, I'm not going to critique you for not being disappointed. If you felt like, oh, there should have been some grandiose finale, fine to you. More power to you. It's your opinion. But if you want to say, but listen, you know, I think it ended off pretty nicely, and I'll get into the reason why I feel like the whole point of WandaVision was. Anyways, the Monica Rambeau story thing. Okay, we know Monica Rambeau was obviously taken by Evan Peters' character, who we later find out, which I think more people, and I won't blame them if they're going to be a little critical and they're going to be like, bro, really? That's what you do with this? Essentially, what we were led, the fake Pietro, or the fake Quicksilver here in the Hex, We later find out just, Monica Rambeau picking up a paper and just essentially saying, wait, your name is Ralph Boner, which I found the last name to be funny as hell. But yeah, the fake Pietro, Evan Peters, just plays some random dude. Now, I feel like every other review you see on YouTube, people are probably going to criticize that point. They're going to be like, bro, you literally brought Evan Peters into this freaking universe for what? Nothing. He's just some random dude, which, okay. Again, this can further still point out the fact that maybe we'll see Evan Peters in multiverse form in terms of being the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, from the Fox universe. To me, I felt like, I guess, if I'm being honest, that was probably the only constructive criticism I could give it. It's like, oh, so you have this fake Pietro just be a regular guy. I'm like, not trying to say like, well, I guess that kind of makes the Evan Peters casting just completely irrelevant. But again, like I said, he could reappear as the Fox version of X-Men if, again, they do the multiverse stuff in Doctor Strange too. I feel like that's gonna be the one thing people are definitely gonna be pissed off about, because they're gonna be like, oh, yada yada yada. That's just great. We see Evan Peters. He's just a regular dude named Ralph. I feel like people are going to be pissed off at that. It doesn't tick me off as much as the next guy, but I can understand where people would be pissed off at that. You think Evan Peters' character would be more important to maybe a potential story point, but to find out that he's just a regular dude named Ralph Boner. Okay. So yeah. But yeah, that's the whole thing there. Anyways, going talking about the Agatha versus Wanda fight. They're having this whole magical fight and stuff like that, and Agatha's like, listen, just give me your magic, man. And that's what she's kind of trying to do, and she's doing the fight. She's essentially taking in Wanda's chaos magic, which we find out is the strongest magic, even stronger than Doctor Strange. So Wanda is confirmed to be stronger than Doctor Strange himself, which is freaking crazy. So obviously, that's a plot point. Going on to Doctor Strange 2 when they work together. And the thing is this. She's trying to take the chaos magic for herself to use, and she's like, I can give you what you want. You want what you want? Fine. I'll give it to you. Just give me your magic and everything and stuff like that. And the same time, you just have Wanda just throwing her magic at her, and she's just absorbing it in. One of the coolest sequences in the fight I like is when it's a callback to Avengers Age of Ultron, which, if you remember, she did the whole mind, warp type of thing with Tony, Cap, Natasha. She did it to Banner and Thor, when she kind of mind wipes you and just puts you in this alternate reality, messing with your head. It doesn't fool Agatha one bit, because she's able to counter it and stuff like that. And it comes to the point where they're fighting in the air. It's like crazy good. Eventually, what happens too, Agatha also says, listen, you need to let this go. Like, she starts to like make the people of Westview essentially like go back to what they were, just their regular lives, and know what they're doing. And it's crazy to see that Wanda was actually like freaking hurting these people, to the point it's like these people are like, yo, we could see your nightmares. We were having your nightmares. I'm like, good Lord. And it comes to the point it's so overwhelming, because all these people are ganging up on her. She actually starts to choke them. Eventually she stops that, and I'm like, gosh dang, they're really trying to turn Wanda into a villain, because of how powerful her magic is and everything, and how destructive it can be. But what we see happen later on in the fight is, it comes to a point where it looks like, Wanda's on her last limb when it comes to her magic, because Agatha's just been, consuming it and taking it in herself. And then that's when Agatha looks like she's going to do the finishing blow. But we see early in the fight, Wanda was throwing, her blast at the hex walls. And two, there was one point where she does open the hex a bit. And Hayward and I guess the Rebel sword members go on in there. But I would say just Hayward's forces go in there to try to stop Wanda, which we see a family team up here. Obviously, it leads to Vision taking on continuous fight with White Vision, which I thought was, again, a pretty cool fight. Wanda continuing her attack against Agatha, and the kids actually get in some fighting with the with the sword agents and stuff like that. When it looks like to a point, Hayward's actually going to shoot the kids. It doesn't work because Photon or Monica Rambeau gets in the way of that, blocks the gunshots and stuff like that. One of the twins blocks a bullet too. Hayward tries to escape, but Darcy, who makes the only appearance here in the episode, and she kind of she's done. She dips. After that, she essentially holds Hayward in place, and then we later see at the end Hayward gets arrested, rightfully so, thank goodness. Which I would also say is kind of another disappointing plot point. Hayward was just your typical, like, now looking back at it, Hayward, he's just your typical corporate boss bad guy where he sees something and he doesn't like it and he wants to take it out. He's kind of just that evil type of army boss general guy, and it's like, oh, that's what he was? Well, he was a completely worthless character. He brought nothing to this series other than the whole sword stuff, but he was kind of a relevant character. I feel like maybe he could have been bigger if they maybe had let him escape the Hex and maybe try to exact some vengeance on Wanda. They could have did that. Again, they could still go that route if he breaks out of prison, but regardless, I don't think he's going to be breaking out of prison anytime soon. So he's kind of just a throwaway character and kind of what some people thought he was. So I guess I can say another critique is how they handled Hayward. He was just a guy you're just supposed to hate. Those typical superhero villains that are not really villains, but like hero, like human type of villains. And it's a dude you just hate because you just hate them. So I don't really care about Hayward, to be honest. Yeah, but as I was saying, throughout the fight with Wanda and Agatha, Wanda was throwing things even at their own Hex, and we later find out to see that she was actually putting up the spell, which makes Agatha not use magic, which is the spell Agatha used against her in episode 8, so she couldn't fight in the little dungeon basement area too, which was pretty cool. Eventually, Wanda absorbs all her magic back, and she becomes the Scarlet Witch, wearing the Scarlet Witch costume, not the, comic one she wore in the one Halloween episode a few weeks ago. A more modernized look of the costume, I guess you would say, if it looked like it was in modern day times, in 2021 times. She obviously still has the whole, I guess you could say, face guard type of, I don't know what you would call that, thing. And the costume is more modernized. I like the costume a lot. I saw the costume, I literally marked out, like, I'm like, bro, this costume looks clean. Like, it's one of the best MCU superhero costumes we've seen in the MCU. Like, one of the best. Like, they actually look good. And two, Elizabeth Olsen, she looked like a snack in this costume. My God, there were so many times in this series over the 9 episodes. There were times Elizabeth Olsen looked like a snack, but she looks like a snack in her Scarlet Witch costume. Eventually, what happens is she manages to defeat Agatha. She eventually turns Agatha into the nosy neighbor, and essentially the way she was during the sitcom element of the show. So she manages to do that, and who knows? I feel like Agatha will return. She's gonna try to, whether she comes back as an anti-hero / another antagonist hungry for power to steal from Wanda. We'll have to find out what happens and stuff like that there. Eventually what happens is WandaVision and the kids and the twins go back home. And essentially Wanda knows what she has to do, and that is getting rid of the Hex and throwing this all away to get rid of the people's pain and misery and stuff like that. So she knows that since she starts to retract the Hex and everything. And they have an emotional goodbye scene to the kids, an emotional scene between her and Vision, where Vision's saying, "I'm your memories, and I'm going to be there," essentially, all there, forever and stuff like that. And it was emotional. It was a very emotional scene as you see him wither away because the Hex finally has come calm down, it's not a thing anymore and stuff like that. And like that one episode where it's revealed where she just went to like this house that is no house, that's like it's off. Things go back to normal. She walks back to the town square. I'll tell you one thing: the people of Westview aren't gonna like Scarlet Witch Wanda no more. They definitely lost her trust because she's walking to the town. You just have the people looking at her like, this mother effer made me go through all that pain and suffering, which again is like I feel bad for them and stuff like that. But the one thing is, Wanda did realize what she was doing was wrong. She has one last talk to Monica, and essentially Monica says, "Look, don't feel guilty. I would have done the same thing because I would have did it for my mom." Which I think anybody in her shoe, if we were in Wanda's shoes, would like to. Who we had a loved one, and wanted to bring them back. Obviously, we wish we could have them back, which I'll get into in a few minutes. Essentially, she kind of flies off, and that's kind of it for Wanda. We get two post-credit scenes. One post-credit scene revolves around Monica Rambeau. We see Hayward getting arrested, and we see this one director person come up to Monica, and she's like, "I know your mother." They go into this movie theater, and we later find out that is actually a scroll, and essentially the scroll is like, "He would like to see you." And essentially the scroll points up in space, and essentially the only person I could think of who wants to see Monica at this current point in time is none other than Nick Fury, which this is going to be the tie-in to the post-credit scene, which is going to be the tie-in to Captain Marvel 2, which Monica Rambeau will come back in, which I believe Captain Marvel 2 won't come out till 2022, so next year. So you're going to have to wait for Captain Marvel 2 next year if you want to check it out, even despite how most people feel about Captain Marvel 2. Personally, I thought Captain Marvel was a decent movie. It's not overblownly that bad. I thought it was okay for what it was, and I guess you can say I took it in, and there were some parts of that movie I enjoyed. But I definitely can't wait for Captain Marvel 2 because we're not only getting Captain Marvel, we're getting obviously Monica Rambeau's character, Photon, and we're getting Miss Marvel, who's getting a TV show as well. And funny enough, the only way you're going to know about Miss Marvel the most, at least have a little bit of background information about Miss Marvel, is if you played the most recent Avengers game, which shockingly isn't doing too hot right now. Even I'm starting to lose faith in that game. I was a big fan of the game. Now I'm like, I don't even care. I'm just waiting for the Hawkeye DLC to come out so I can just play it and be like, okay, it's going on the shelf again and collecting dust. So yeah, if you don't know much about Miss Marvel, she's kind of like she's essentially an Inhuman, which can stretch. So she's essentially the girl version of Mr. Fantastic. That's what she is. So if you don't know much about Miss Marvel, I'm guessing if you play the Avengers video game. It kind of goes a little bit more into who she is as a character. But I already saw the casting, and I can't wait for that show. I'm gonna watch that show too, because I liked what I got out of Miss Marvel from the Avengers game. So I can't wait to see what she does in live action. Anyways, the second post-credit scene. The second post-credit scene is it pans over to a log cabin where Wanda's just living. And she's just living out. And next thing you know, it pans over to the back, and she's doing the whole thing that Doctor Strange does, because I got it from another person who reviewed the episode. She's essentially living her life in her real body and stuff like that, while in the meantime her spiritual body is reading up on that book. I forgot what the book's called, but that book that like you can learn like some of the most evilest magic type of spells, and she's just looking at it. And before the post-credit scene goes off, Wanda hears one of the twins say, "Mom, help me." So apparently, and it seems like the children are still alive. I'm guessing what Wanda will do in Doctor Strange 2 is she's going to go to Doctor Strange, and she's going to say, like, "Hey, if you didn't hear about the incident that I did, well, yeah, I made, kids, from my magic. And I'm just over here studying spells. And I hear my kids in the distance. So I think my kids are still alive. Can you show me how to get there and stuff like that?" And Doctor Strange will be like, "I don't know," and stuff like that. Which is going to be interesting. Again, Doctor Strange is going to be make an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't think Elizabeth Olsen is going to make an appearance in that movie. It would be cool to see if she made an appearance, and I'm guessing you could say, I don't know how these movies are going to timeline wise. We already know like WandaVision is like 3 weeks after Endgame. I don't know when Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness are going to be taking place. I don't know if they're going to be taking place at the same time or one movie Spider-Man's going to take place before Doctor Strange. I think that's how it is. But if Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda makes an appearance in Spider-Man No Way Home, she's probably not going to do much of anything, but she's probably like, oh, you're that one kid from the fight from Civil War and stuff like that. It would be cool because we don't really get interaction. We don't really have an interaction between Wanda and Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man can be like, "Oh yeah, I heard about the thing you did," and stuff like that. Again, that could be a thing where Spider-Man's trying to get some help about from Doctor Strange, and maybe he runs into Doctor Strange and Wanda, I guess, joins some point. They're trying to figure out their thing in Multiverse of Madness. I don't think Wanda will make an appearance in Spider-Man. Otherwise, they would have already confirmed it. They confirmed that Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be in Spider-Man 3. We don't know. He's going to be like a mentor. I feel like he's going to be in the movie that much, but who knows? But yeah, that's anyways. That post-credit scene ties into Doctor Strange 2, which you're gonna have to wait a whole year this time to get, because Doctor Strange 2 doesn't come out till March of 2022. So you're gonna have to be patient, boys and girls, and stuff like that. But my thoughts again, like I said, the show was good. I feel like some people are gonna be disappointed about this season finale or this series finale because, especially from the standpoint, people didn't get what they theorized or they speculated on. Which, listen, you cannot confirm things with theories and speculation. Like, I remember some people were confirming or saying, "Oh, Reed Richards is definitely going to be in this show." No Reed Richards to say off. And it's, again, like I said, listen, yeah, we're going to get Reed Richards. We're going to get the Fantastic Four because they already announced that Fantastic Four is going to be coming. But why will we be getting Fantastic Four and one of the first, in the first titles to be released for Phase 4? That makes no sense. Marvel doesn't do DC shit where you give the fan service crap. Marvel likes to tell a story. DC will give you that fan base, that fanboy stuff. And I love DC, but let's be honest. The DC, how they handle the movie, they give you the fanboy stuff. The same thing with the Snyder cut of the Justice League. It didn't need to come out. They're only doing that because the fanboys asked for it to come out. And there, lo and behold, DC caters to the fanboys, and they've given you your Snyder cut. I'm still going to check it out, and I'm going to give a review on it, and give my thoughts on it, and say that we'll see if it's better than the original Justice League. But regardless, yeah, the people are going to be mad. I think there were some people that are mad that Mephisto and Nightmare didn't make an appearance. They're not the big bad. And people are like, Agatha's the big bad? Really? Listen, I feel like, especially with what I've heard from other reviewers, it seems like Mephisto and Nightmare would rather be a movie villain instead of a TV show villain. Heck, I feel like Mephisto and our Nightmare would have a better chance of showing up in Doctor Strange 2 than they would in WandaVision. And I feel like, that's the thing too. If you're really going to be disappointed by the speculations you put out there, the things that you thought you wanted to see, the things you wanted to see in here and you didn't get them, don't be disappointed because you didn't get what you wanted. Yeah, it sucks that we didn't get what we wanted. It sucks that Evan Peters' Quicksilver wasn't the Quicksilver we thought we were getting. Regardless, it's still a good story being told. And that's the main thing. Marvel tells a story. That's why the MCU has done so good up to this point. That's why they had 4 phases. And that's why they're the pinnacle when it comes to superhero content. It's like, you gotta follow the Marvel content if you want to make stuff. Make the story good. And if people are going to be really mad that, oh, I didn't get to see my Reed Richards or my Mephisto or my Nightmare, or I didn't like the fact that Evan Peters turned out the way I want him. Okay, Evan Peters, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But the other guys we speculated. If you're going to be mad that Doctor Strange didn't make a cameo in the end of this episode or even the post-credit scene. If you're gonna really be that mad about it, get a real life and just understand this. It's just speculations and theories, just predictions that are just based off the mind of what you would like to see. Don't take it as a grain of salt, like, oh, Marvel said this. The whole Luke Skywalker thing. The White Vision thing was the Luke Skywalker cameo mentioned, if you just wanted to know. That was a Luke Skywalker cameo type of thing they were saying. And stuff like that. And it's funny, too, because I think I was scrolling YouTube this morning, after watching the episode, and I saw a John Campea video, and the description says, WandaVision director said that some people might not like the way how WandaVision ends. Which I feel, again, like I said, I feel like some people in the community won't like the way it ended. People will be like, man, this is a cop-out ending. This is bullshit, yada, yada, yada. But listen, to each his own. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was still a good series and a good season finale, or a good series finale. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to get WandaVision season 2. I don't think we would. It would honestly make no sense. I feel like this is going to be like its own thing. Something like, I don't know, Falcon the Winter Soldier. I feel like that could definitely get a season 2 because you can do so much with Bucky and Sam. Now, the whole moral of the story really here for WandaVision, which I said I was going to get into, is essentially the whole aspect of coping with the losses of loved ones. And we see this whole thing within Wanda is after the events of way back to Age of Ultron when she lost her brother Pietro to where we're currently at, or to where, the end of Endgame is. She's lost so many people in her love life. Heck, even in her child life. She lost her family, her home, her mother and father, lost vision when it looked like they were going to live out a perfect life and everything. And it was her dealing with it and understanding and how to cope with the loss and realizing, yes, the people in my past who I loved are dead. But at the end of the day, I have to move on and understand that I still have the memories of them in my heart, in my head. And I have to move on and I have to cope with that loss. So take it like this. We all have lost somebody near and dear to us in our life, whether it's a parent, grandparent, brother, sister, pet. We have things that are very near and dear to us. People, beings that we care about deeply. And you find out the whole tragedy, or they come up with a tragic passing away or a death that you don't expect to see coming. It's going to shake you. It is. But at the end of the day, it's like, how are you going to move on from that and how are you going to cope with it? Are you going to be like Wanda and try to hurt other people and, be a burden to other people and be a problem to others? Are you going to move on, accept the loss you have, move on, cope with it, mourn as much as you can, and then move on and go on with your life? That's what I feel like the message, this show was trying to tell to its fans, as well as also a good story point for Wanda, dealing with the losses she had in her past and be able to cope and move on from those losses. Again, Marvel gave, it was a good message for Wanda, and it's also a good message to us people too. Marvel was teaching us something. Listen, we have loved ones. Am I gonna suck? Eventually, my mom and my dad are gonna pass away. That's just evidence, and that's with everybody who has a mom and a dad. They're eventually going to pass away. But the thing is this, the memories you have of your parents, are always going to be there in your heart, in your head. The things that they taught you to be the people you are today. The same thing with Wanda, her brother Pietro, Vision, you can say all the other Avengers that passed away. They made her the people they are today, the person she is today. How the character made her and stuff like that, and that's the same thing here. You're going to have those people in your head and you're always going to have the memories of all the fun times. It's like looking back at the past. Oh, you had a fun experience. You're going to always have that memory of that fun experience you had. It sucks you can't get that person back. It sucks you can't get those moments back. But, at the end of the day, it's like it's about moving on with your life and understanding and using those teachings that they taught you to even further your life better. And I think that's what Marvel was trying to tell here with the WandaVision, the show, not only to people, but as well as showing that Wanda has to get over the losses of people. Now, again, like I said, it seems like they're going to put a story point where the kids are still alive and they can be in this real reality as well as White Vision's out there. But I very much enjoyed WandaVision. It was a great show. It was a very emotional show, and I had fun watching this week to week. Marvel hit it out of the park. They did it yet again, and I've always was an advocate. When I heard all the people that said that after Endgame, Marvel wouldn't be good, I never doubted Marvel for a bit because this is Kevin Feige. This is Marvel we're talking about. You really thought they were going to sleep on you guys, and they really were going to give you the content? Yes, nothing will probably ever, and I mean ever. It don't matter any type of movie, any type of reboot they do to the MCU, whatever. It's never going to get to that. And I completely agree. What Endgame did, that whole first three phase, the Endgame, Infinity War, Endgame hype, leading up all to that will never, and I mean never, be replicated again. And I even said, whatever Marvel does in the future, I don't think we'll ever get to that level. I never said Marvel won't be good. I say Marvel will still be good, but it will never in a million years get back to the level with what the first three phases did. Building up all that time to get to Endgame. It will never get to that point. There may be some cases where it could get close, but not to that point with what we saw. But again, Marvel hits it out of the park again. Next week, we have a break in terms of Marvel content, but on March 19th, we come back with the start of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I will be doing weekly reviews on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This time, I'm not going to get cold feet. I'm going to review week to week, and I can't wait to see that show. I saw the trailer. The banter between Sam and Bucky are going to be funny. Baron Zemo is going to be back from Civil War, and it's going to be crazy. So, yeah, but other than that, WandaVision was good. I humbly enjoyed this. And I definitely can't wait to see what Wanda is going to be doing in Doctor Strange 2. I'm actually hyped to see Doctor Strange 2. I'll watch the first Doctor Strange. No, I didn't see it in theaters. I just watched it when I was catching up before Endgame, came out. And I wasn't really kind of intrigued. I didn't really kind of care. To me, Doctor Strange 1 was kind of a boring movie. I know I said it. To me, it was a boring movie, and I wasn't really much intrigued. Now I'm intrigued. 2, technically, what Doctor Strange was doing in Infinity War and Endgame, it made me start to be like, okay, I might need to start putting some respect on Doctor Strange because he's cool as shit. But the next Marvel property will be Falcon the Winter Soldier. I believe after that, we're going to finally get Black Widow. Thank God. We should have got Black Widow last year. We should have got Black Widow on the streaming service Disney+. I would have paid a $20 fee to see Black Widow. And I think after that, Black Widow is Loki. And then we have to wait till the end of the year to get Spider-Man No Way Home, which I'm so hyped because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero and I love his MCU movies, despite how many people do not like his MCU movies and think he's Iron Man Jr. Despite what you think, I don't care. I love the Spider-Man and how they handled him in the MCU because I think that's the comic book accurate way how they're handling him. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the premiere of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Anyways, I'm going to catch you guys later, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.